Hey guys, it's the Disco Spider, and as everyone knows, Nickelodeon has not been on their game at this decade. The only shows that they've had recently that were actually good were Harvey Beaks, the new TMNT show, and the poorly treated Legend of Korra. But after that, everything else that they released through these 2010s and even 2008 and 9 have been shit. However, Nickelodeon finally released a new cartoon that I can actually say that I love. At first, the show doesn't really look that great. We got plots that have been overused and done to death in other cartoons, and characters that their personalities have been done to death as well in other cartoons. However, something about the show, they just make it fresh and fun to watch, even though these plots have been done before, and you kind of know what they're getting at, you know how it's going to end, and, which is very predictable. However, they have a new twist to some of them that's like, this is very entertaining, and especially the best part about these plots is the character interactions. The premise of the show is about a boy named Lincoln who lives with his 10 sisters and does all these wacky and sometimes relatable shenanigans. By far the best part of the show is the characters. Individually they're all pretty cool, but when they're all together, 2 or 3 of them, or even all 11 of them, they're just so enjoying to see all these personalities interact with each other, like the goth girl, the sporty girl, talking to each other. Then we got the funny person and the, little baby, and these, interaction between these characters. They're just really fun and enjoyable to watch. And as for our main character, Lincoln, he plays the straight man in this show. A lot of cartoons has the typical kid who's about 10-ish that likes comic books and can be very bland, but here it works because with all these distinct personalities like the rocker and the smart girl interacting with, the typical guy that we can relate to, it is very enjoying to see. I know I've been saying enjoying or enjoyment and just enjoy in general during this review, but this is the show, which is very enjoyable. I love seeing these characters interact with each other. I just like these characters, and they're just very fun. But although I do love this cartoon, there is some problems that I do have with it. Although I do like the characters, the one character that I don't like is Clyde, the token black guy. That's his personality. He's just the black guy. When it's just him and Lincoln, he's just very boring. But when he interacts with the girls and all these personalities and stuff, he can be kind of great. But, he's just there for being the best friend of Lincoln. He has really nothing. I know there's characters like, Gerald from Hey Arnold that is kind of like the token black guy, but he still has a distinct personality and is really fun. Although Token doesn't really have much of personality, and he's just boring and bland. And a lot of the plots are just too repetitive. It starts with, Lincoln doing something, and then the girls trying to join in to spite him or anything, and then it just twirls into a random mess, in a good way. But, a lot of these plots use, okay, they're recycling the same material, and although it is a good material, and it's fun, and it could work for the first season to have the same-ish plots, but if this show was gonna last 2 to 3 or 4 more seasons, you gotta switch it up. It can't be the same thing over and over and over again, and that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from the show, that, this isn't really a show that can last more than 1 season or more than 20 episodes, so you gotta switch it up. And although I'm fine with them having the same amount of plot for the first season, the second season they should do something different. Still, I think Loud House is a clever and fun show, and definitely my favorite Nickelodeon show in the 2010s, hands down. If you miss 90s cartoon or 90s Nickelodeon shows or even early 2000s, please watch Loud House. I know Nickelodeon hasn't had that many good cartoons of this decade, but this is one of the best. Not really the best Nickelodeon show of all time, but it's still a really fun and enjoyable cartoon that I do highly recommend for any Nickelodeon fan out there who likes the 90s and who likes Danny Phantom, My Life's a Teenage Robot, Shock Zone, all those shows. This can definitely fit with those shows and is just a great cartoon. I recommend it. So yeah, I'm the Disco Spider, and peace out.